are now being deported from Mexico.
Hey, Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule well through the scriptures. Peace to the 144,000 and the rest of the hopefully elect. Play this little video on from TikTok about Americans being deported from Mexico. And I fact checked it, Googled some things online to see if this was true, just to be sure. And yeah, man, Mexico been deporting Americans for at least a decade. All right, so anyway, without further ado.
Breaking news. The president of Mexico has stated that he will begin to deport Americans that have moved to Mexico without proper documentation, aka illegal immigrants. This comes after the president of Mexico states that he is tired of Americans gentrifying cities in Mexico. In the past 3 weeks, we have seen different events where Americans try to colonize beaches, public areas, and even salsa. While a lot of these Americans have moved to Mexico for
Americans, aka Edomites, all right, properly known as Edomites of the Bible, currently known as so-called white people. They are an invasive species, if you ain't know, and if you can't tell.
Better life. They move there because they cannot afford to live here in the United States. So move to Mexico so they can afford a lifestyle there. But locals have raised their prices because Americans are paying in dollars, while locals that are still shopping have to pay in pesos, and now have to pay the equivalent of the dollar. And instead of these people moving to Mexico and bettering the economy, they're making it horrible for the people that live there, the natives. And if you already did not know, the amount of Mexicans migrating to the United States has slowed down by the 100,000 since 2019. The amount of Mexicans living in the United States leaving willingly back to Mexico has increased drastically. And while Mexicans are moving back to Mexico, a lot of Americans have been moving to Mexico for a better life. But my, how the tables have turned. What are your thoughts?
So remember the story of the migrant?
Right, so that's what you got going on, all right, and that's been going on for a while, so-called Americans migrating to Mexico, and kind of living it up, having a greater sense of mobility and freedom than America, a greater sense of financial freedom, all right, because the dollar is of a higher value out there, and also, as being a so-called white person in the world, all right, being able to enjoy the earth better than others, because so-called white people have been ruling, all right, whether it's European, whether it's American, and in times past, people will see you and, they'll, kiss your butt, so to speak. All right, it's true, man. Hell, I met a guy about 10 years ago, so-called white dude or whatever. He was talking about how he went to work in China for a prosthetic company or something. And every time he would see people, the Chinese people, they would laugh and be all in his face and smile, and they would always put up the peace sign and basically be kissing his ass. All right. You see everywhere across the world, they try to bleach themselves. The lighter you are in Asian countries is more desired. Okay. Hell, you even got Nigerians and Haitians and Cubans and Jamaicans and Dominicans trying to lighten themselves and bleach their skins to imitate and emulate the so-called white man. So with that, I'm going to grab, with that opening statement, I'm going to grab this real quick. This is Psalm 73. I'm gonna get it in the NLT to see what it say. Psalm 73, and I'm gonna start at 9. They set their mouths against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Yeah, the so-called white people gave you the idea that ain't no God, right? Everything hell, if it is one, it looked like him, right? And their tongue walking through the earth, right? So their policies dictate the world. Therefore, his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. So let me see, Psalm in the NLT. Let's see what it's. Matter of fact, it says, and so the people are dismayed and confused, drinking in all their words. Right. So what the scripture says, the nations have drunk of the wine of Babylon, therefore the nations are mad. So these other nations, they eat up their philosophies to their own destruction or to their own confusion. Let me read in another version. Let me see. Just to see what it say. Let's do a interlinear comparison. No, a Bible comparison. Let me see. NIV, therefore their people turn to them and drink up waters in abundance. Therefore they have more than enough food to eat and even suck up the water of the sea. RSV, therefore the people turn and praise them and find no fault in them. Here it is. You got all this information about these people destroying the world and the earth. Hell, destroying you. Destroying your economy. The Chinese and the Japanese remember what so-called white people did to them. They talk about it. They had commemorations on it. But yet and still, this is the sentiment they got to them still. All right. Let me see. Back in the KJV. Therefore his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. Right. And also when you when they go places, they get the best of it. Like they a couple years ago, Bill Gates was out somewhere. Bill Gates, the mangy looking boy, you know, and you know everything he did, Sir Killiam, you know everything he did, right? They was giving him free food. Why did this nigga worth hundreds of billions of dollars? So reportedly, supposedly, probably more than that, and he's just out there eating for free, looking weird. But now things are shifting. All right. That's how it used to be. All right. And as the last couple years, maybe even 5, you say, that has been phasing out, which lets you know that their kingdom is at an end. Like they're on the decline. They're on the drastic decline, because now look, you got Mexicans deporting Americans. And what type of American, and out of all the people that Mexico deported, because Mexico deported a lot of people too. They deport a lot of people from Central America, you know, like Guatemala, all right, and Brazil. Hell, even Africa. Hell, even like from that Eastern European bloc, Eastern, Western, I might be messing it up, but Czechoslovakia and, well, Czechoslovakia don't exist anymore. But places like that, in that area. All right, Uzbekistan and stuff. Mexico be deporting people too. All right, but the main people they deport is Americans, so-called Americans. And what race you think they is? What you think that they're so-called black people? You think so-called black people got the means to just go and find a new life in Mexico? No, that's so-called white people going down there, breaking the law, being a pest, being a nuisance. And you know they down there smug, looking down on them, gentrifying their land, trying to take over beaches and stuff. That's why I said while the video was playing, they are an invasive species, right? So with that being said, let me grab what is that, Isaiah 32? Come on, man. Isaiah 32 and I'm gonna read it in the KJV and the NLT. It says, "The vile person shall be no more called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful." So the so-called white man had people food. He was masquerading as the good guy. right? In the NLT, in that day, ungodly fools will not be heroes. Scoundrels will not be respected. Yeah, so they deporting you. They talking bad against you. All right. Hey, when you what's that scripture in Joel? It says the nations have said, have thou become? No, what is that? Isaiah 14. The nation said, have thou become as weak as we? All right. So the playing field level, now people can speak their mind now. They don't got to fear retaliation so much because through the spirit raised up by Russia, all right, being a guard unto these other nations, giving them weaponry, where everybody got the nuclear missile now, all right, and other various weapons. And the scripture also says, shameful spewing shall be on your glory, all right. You glorify in America, talking about being a great country and having so many inventions and being a world power and all that. Well, what got you there? All right, the slavery, free labor, and slave labor was the highest industry in all the whole world, and they try to diminish it. No, that was higher than all the industries, all of them. Slave labor. All right, the inventions that came with it that you stole. All right, the Jim Crow era. Look, we can go on and on. The Native Americans, what you did to them, we can go on and on. All right, we could be here all day with that. So now your chicken's coming home to roost, so to speak. It says, really, that's the point on that I wanted for this video. All of that go in. That all reads good, but that's just the point I wanted for this video. All right. So now, what's that? What's that? Jeremiah 50. Let me see. I got that pulled up. Let me see. Jeremiah 50 and 31. Let me see. Because with this being said, you got a lot of Mexicans, so-called Mexicans, going back to Mexico. All right. Mexican immigration to America is decreasing. And Mexicans leaving America to Mexico is increasing. And not only them, but a lot of these different foreigners, are going back to their own land because they out here and they seeing like, wait a minute, and I've been hearing them said at different jobs I've been hearing them said for the last 6 years. In my country, you could do this, you could do that, you could do this. All right, they coming to find out. Look, they had the one woman right from Jamaica, the Benjamite woman. She said not years ago, but I remember TikTok maybe a couple years ago. She was like, the American dream is a lie. She said, you come over here, you gonna work until you die. See, you can say what you want. See, living in America, it's an illusion. Right? You think because you got these gadgets and the news tell you the land of the free and home of the brave and all these other countries ain't got it all. No, man. You out here sick, depressed, chemtrailed out, poisoning the soil. You live at a very low existence over here in America. All right. They said, I was watching this video. This woman got cancer. She like 19. She was speaking about how she feel like if she wouldn't have cancer, if she didn't live in America, she wouldn't have cancer. And she talked about how her brother they from another country, went back to another country, said the brother doing great. He was overweight. He losing weight. He ain't even watching his diet. Said he eating bread, he eating carbs, and he losing weight over there. America's an illusion, man. Let me see. This is Jeremiah 50 and 16. Cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handled the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. All right. See, people in time past would just straight up venture out and just leave and come to America. You meet people 19, 20, 21, 22, fresh out of college. All right. Their parents will invest in them to come to America and do better. And then they be here for a while and they try and then they come to realization, wait a minute. I could do better where I was at. And that's where we at right now. So with that, Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson to the hopeful elect. All praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash, Shalom.